Ms. Calviño, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Let me ask you, what is your mission here as the president of the EIB coming to Washington at this very critical time for the global economy?
Indeed, as financing arm of the European Union, we have a clear objective to reinforce our global partnerships for peace and prosperity. And in these times of extreme volatility and uncertainty, we come with a very strong and clear message from Europe. We are a beacon of stability, confidence, and our partners can trust us.
Can I ask you, are you at the EIB already seeing and feeling any of the impact of the tariff war? Is there any projects that are under review that are being canceled? Are you seeing further need for more financing, more lending?
Well, it's clear that we're meeting in a very different atmosphere. These are the first spring meetings after the change of administration, and it's clear that the subjects, the topics that we have been dealing with in the last years are no longer in fashion, on this side of the Atlantic. But this makes it all more important that we stay the course. In Europe, we have a clear view that the green transition, for example, is a win-win project. It is good for our security, it's good for our competitiveness, so it's a no-brainer that we need to keep the course of this green transition, and we will continue to cooperate with our partners around the world with a very clear agenda, which is also leading to win-win partnerships.
As you say, the green transition may not necessarily be on vogue right now, but for Europe at least, it's still seen as a massive growth driver. Do you get the sense that the European Commission has now implemented the new Clean Industrial Deal that is more business friendly as opposed to the Green Deal?
Well, it is clear that we need to simplify the rules. We need to make sure that all the reporting obligations are fit for purpose. And we're working very closely with the European Commission to make sure that we reduce red tape and that we make climate and competitiveness a winning tandem, that we really make this green transition a European success.
Ms. Calviño, of course, we have to talk about defense because the EIB has recently expanded its mandate in terms of what it can do to help financing the rearmament in Europe. Talk to us about your new mandate. Is it so new? Is it simply expanded? What's your vision here?
Well, unfortunately, because I would really wish, that we were not having these conflicts very close to home. But unfortunately, it's clear that we need to reinforce and step up our support to Europe's security and defense capabilities. Last year in 2024, we started to get ready and expand our mandate. And this year we have expanded it further so that we will ingrain security and defense as one of our core objectives in all our projects. And we will certainly increase our financing in this area. We doubled our investments last year. We are expecting to more than double in 2025 again and make a difference in terms of the security and the strategic autonomy of Europe in these troubling times.
Can I ask you though, you have a balance sheet of around 600 billion euros. You, as you say, want to double the financing for defense to 2 billion euros this year, 2025, up to 8 billion in a few years' time. If you take that into perspective, given the size of your balance sheets, these numbers still look relatively small. Shouldn't more be done on this front?
Well, financing is not the constraint right now. We are working on a very solid pipeline of 22 projects, which I hope will be approved in the coming months. We have recently also removed the 8 billion ceiling, so we will be able to respond to the needs of the European Union right now and contribute, together with other institutions, to reinforce Europe's capabilities. But let me argue that I think that every euro financed by the European Investment Bank is actually contributing to Europe's security, because security starts with a strong economy, and our investments in energy infrastructures, in research and development, new technologies, water, all these investments are making Europe stronger and contributing to a safer, more stable world.
Is the EIB becoming a defense bank for Europe?
We have a very clear list of priorities, starting with being the climate bank, and proud to do so. Then supporting technology, security and defense, cohesion, social infrastructures, which are ingrained in the European way of life and the business model of Europe. So I don't think that we have to put one objective as opposed to others. All of this is contributing to a stronger Europe in a peaceful world.
Absolutely. Also, you've been filling the financing gap for Ukraine. There are currently talks about another meeting of officials from a number of countries, including Ukraine, set for Wednesday. What are you planning for? What are you hoping for on this front?
Yes, every time we meet here at the World Bank and IMF summit, we have these Friends of Ukraine gatherings, and I must say I'm always impressed by the unanimous, relentless, unwavering support for Ukraine that is coming from so many parts of the world. At the European Investment Bank, we have a clear view that we need to support Ukraine. Ukraine's security is Europe's security. We are the main investment partner to the Ukrainian government right now. And actually this week we will be again taking stock and signing agreements to accelerate the deployment of our financing on the ground. And this is financing the recovery of key infrastructures, bridges, transport, trains, energy infrastructures, also the protection, bunkers to protect schools, kindergartens, hospitals, and to rebuild also houses, other municipal facilities, and to provide basic services that are helping Ukrainian citizens with their carry on as normally as possible with their everyday lives. We are committed to supporting Ukraine, and we will continue to do so.
Ms. Calviño, you've mentioned a number of priorities, defense being one of them, and I do wonder how investors, how the market is thinking about this, SSA investors, in the sense that I'm sure your funding volumes will have to increase. What is the return that you're able to offer to these investors?
Well, right now we're not changing our funding plans, and actually what we're seeing is a strong oversubscription of our issuance. Only a couple of weeks ago we issued the first green bond under the European Green Bond Standard, and it was heavily oversubscribed. So what I think the market is telling us that they do understand that Europe right now is a beacon of stability, prosperity, and a safe way forward.
On that note, are we no longer talking about American exceptionalism, but European exceptionalism? Would you subscribe to that view?
I wouldn't like to engage in this kind of competition, because you know what? The transatlantic partnership is strategic. It's very important for Europe. It's very important for the United States. It has provided prosperity and well-being on both sides of the Atlantic for the last 80 years. I think we should continue to try to build a peaceful, a prosperous, a strong partnership across the ocean.
Ms. Calviño, thank you so much for your time.